I mean, look, I think Elon is, I don't think I'm even a great example, but I think Elon would be the great example of this, which is like, look, he's a guy who from every day of his life, from the day he started making money at all, he just plows into the next thing. And so I think money is definitely an enabler for satisfaction. Let's say money applied to happiness leads people down very dark paths. Yeah. Very destructive avenues. Money applied to satisfaction, I think, is a real tool.
It's been a big chunk, but I've just really put almost all of it back into the new game. No, I'd say the real payoff is the sense of satisfaction in having created the company that I've sold.
Yes, but the car is fun.
But the car sure is.
The car is
sure is
Let's
fun.
be honest.
I always like, by the way, I was like, Elon is the case study for behavior. But the other thing that's always really made me think is Larry Page was asked one time what his approach to philanthropy was. And he said, I'm just, my philanthropic plan is just give all the money to Elon.
Artificial intelligence would be the ultimate version of Google. So if we had the ultimate search engine, it would understand everything on the web. It would understand, exactly what you wanted, and it would give you the right thing. And that's obviously artificial intelligence. It would be able to answer any question, basically, because almost everything is on the web, right? And so we're nowhere near doing that now. However, we can get incrementally closer to that. And that's basically what we work on. And that's tremendously interesting from an intellectual standpoint, right? We have all this data. If you printed out our index, it would be 70 miles high now. We have all this computation. We have about 6,000 computers. So we have a lot of resources available. We have enough disk space to store like 100 copies of the whole web. So you have a really interesting sort of confluence of a lot of different things, right? A lot of computation, a lot of data that didn't used to be available. And, from an engineering scientific standpoint, building things to, make use of this is a really interesting intellectual exercise. So I expect to be doing that for a while. On the other hand, I do have a lot of other interests as well. I'm really interested in transportation and sustainable energy. And, sort of for fun, I invent things on the side.
Right.
Well, let me actually ask you about Elon. What are your, you've interacted with quite a lot of successful engineers and business people. What do you think is special about Elon? We talked about Steve Jobs. What do you think is special about him as a leader, as an innovator?
Yeah. So the core of it is he's back to the future. So he is doing the most leading edge things in the world, but with a really deeply old school approach. And so to find comparisons to Elon, you need to go to like Henry Ford and Thomas Watson and Howard Hughes and Andrew Carnegie, right? Leland Stanford, John D. Rockefeller, right? You need to go to what were called the bourgeois capitalists, like the hardcore business owner operator, basically built industrialized society. Vanderbilt. And it's a level of hands-on commitment, and depth, in the business, coupled with an absolute priority, towards truth, and towards, how to put it, science and technology, down to first principles. That is just like absolute, just like unbelievably absolute. Mm-hmm. He really is ideal that he's only ever talking to engineers. Like he does not tolerate bullshit. He has less bullshit tolerance than anybody I've ever met. Mm-hmm. He wants ground truth on every single topic. And he runs his businesses directly day to day, devoted to getting to ground truth on every single topic.
So, you think it was a good decision for him to buy Twitter?
I have developed a view in life to not second guess Elon Musk. I know this is going to sound crazy and unfounded, but
he's got quite a track record.
I mean, look, the car was look,
he's done a lot of things that seem crazy.
Starting a new car company in the United States of America, the last time somebody really tried to do that was the 1950s, and it was called Tucker Automotive, and it was such a disaster. They made a movie about what a disaster it was. And then rockets, like who does that? Like there's obviously no way to start a new rocket company. Like those days are over. And then to do those at the same time. So after he pulled those two off, like, okay, fine. Like this is one of my areas of like, whatever opinions I had about it, it's just like, okay, clearly are not relevant. Like this is, you at some point you just like bet on the person.
And in general, I wish more people would lean on celebrating and supporting versus deriding and destroying.